I actually didn't think I'd have it in me to make this video, and I really didn't want to be one of those people that, that when some tragic event happens in their lives, they go all about it and create content and post Instagram stories and make Facebook posts. But I deeply think that in creating this video, which is something that I really like to do, I love to create videos, I feel like it will kind of give me some solace in actually making this short video. I don't even know what this is. I usually have scripts prepared and all that stuff prepared and kind of like a persona that I usually adapt, or just something that I usually have in my mind of what the video is going to be like. But I didn't really have anything. Literally a week ago from today, last Thursday at around 12 p.m, I found my dog had died in my balcony. Apparently he came downstairs at 8:30 a.m. to eat food. At 11 a.m. my sister saw him in the balcony and she thought that he was sleeping, and then she just, didn't want to disturb him, so she left. And then I woke up at 9 a.m. I went downstairs. I had my cold shower. I read my book. I had a class or something like that, because I usually don't check anyway, and he usually comes downstairs by himself. I just went upstairs at 12 p.m, around 12ish, and I just said, "Hey Cass, let's go for a walk," and he didn't respond, and it was kind of weird. I'm like, sometimes he doesn't really hear me, or sometimes, those kind of things happen. And just started just making my bed and cleaning my room a little bit. I'm like, "Cass, all right, let's go for a walk." And me being in my room still yelling and him not responding. I'm like, okay, this is really odd. He usually comes every time you say the word walk. And then I saw him in the balcony, and I was walking towards the balcony and he was lying down. And then I said, "Cass, walk." And he was just lying down. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. He's not responding, but I still didn't really process what had happened. And I went up to him and I said, "Cass, let's go for a walk time." And yeah, he just didn't respond. And he had just urinated where he was lying down, and there was saliva coming from his mouth. I panicked. I didn't know how to act. And I went downstairs. I just called my neighbor, and I literally called him on Messenger. I said, "Hey, man, can you come help me? Cass is not breathing." He came outside, and then I just picked him up from the balcony and then took him downstairs. And the neighbor came and he saw Cass, and then he just said he was dead. And it all just happened in a few minutes. I just didn't have time to process it, and I just broke down in front of him. I called my girlfriend, I called my mom, I called my dad, I called my sister to tell them what had happened. And my neighbor said to my girlfriend to bring a blanket for Cass. But I'm like, no, I don't, this is not happening. He's not gone. So my girlfriend came, me and my girlfriend got in her car, and then we just drove to the vet. And we took him to the vet, and they quickly just came outside, helped us. It was a traumatic sequence of events that occurred from the time I discovered him, from the time I took him downstairs, from the time my neighbor told me what had happened, from the time we took him to the vet in the car, and it was just the most scariest car ride of my life. And then from the time the vet actually said what had happened, I was confused, I was perplexed, I didn't know what had occurred. People came, everyone came. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, and I think the reason I'm making this video, I'm not sure. I don't know. And at this moment, I don't even think I might. And at this moment, I don't even know if I'm going to put it public. And even if I do, I have no intentions of promoting or anything like that. I guess this video itself is kind of giving me some meaning towards my dog. We got him when he was, I think, 6 weeks old, and we had him he was turning 8 in a month from now, literally. I honestly don't know what I feel right now. The past few days have been really hard. I have been depressed, and I haven't felt anything like this to a certain extent, in a while at least. For the 3 to 4 days after his death, I didn't do anything. And I'm someone who loves a routine. I'm someone who likes to do things every day on a daily basis, and it's like a checklist and move on to the next thing. But I couldn't do anything. I just didn't have it in me. And which is fair. I'm not going to be hard on myself. I literally lost my best friend who I had for 8 years. And I think the problem is, when we got him, I was 18. And I think I was just turning 18 or something like that. And I'm 25 now, turning 26 in like a couple of months. You know, before Cass's death, I was heavily, and I still am heavily into Stoicism. I was reading a guy called Ryan Holiday. There's a coin that I got from his website. It said Memento Mori, and on the back it says you can leave life right now. Honestly, I think after my dog's death, and it was because it was so sudden, we think that he had a seizure, and he was perfectly fine. He had no underlying conditions, not that we knew of. I took him for walks every day, for long walks. He ate well, he slept well. He had, you know, we got him vaccinated. When I got this coin, I think I just bought it for the sake of buying it. You know how we're like, oh, okay, I'm going to get into this. I like this philosophy, so I want to try to embody this, and I'm going to try to adapt this way of thinking or this mode of thinking. I think I just had the coin, and I had the coin right next to my bedside, and I've had it for a year and a half. The message Memento Mori, for people that don't know, comes from a Latin term, which is something that Stoics used a lot as well in their philosophies. Marcus Aurelius talks about it, Epictetus, Seneca, they all talk about it. Memento Mori means remember you will die. After Cass's death, I realized how true or how potent this message was. And the past few days, I have been really thinking about it. You know, like, these kind of epiphanies don't actually occur to you until some tragic, hard, deep lesson actually occurs in your life. We have this fictitious thought in our head that we're going to live till 60, we're going to live till 70, we're going to live till 80. And we are conscious that we can die anytime. And now I'm actually starting to realize it every day. It's been hard. It hasn't been good. I feel sad every time I think about him. There are all these triggers around the house that remind me of him. When I come home, I just think that he's going to be there, but he's not. When I come to my room, I think he's going to be there, but he's not. So I'm slowly starting to realize the meaning behind this Memento Mori coin. And I'm not advocating that you buy this coin or in any regard. I'm just, again, I don't even know why I'm making this video, but I think what I'm trying to say is that a tragic lesson occurred in my life. And only then I realized the meaning behind this coin. Because I've never really lost anyone close to me ever. And I've experienced this first time in my life. I think I'm also starting to realize that in grief, you really see the true people in your lives, or the people that actually care for you. And it's such a cliche when I say that, but I'm just expressing what I've learned in the past week. I also think that death brings families together, and I've actually noticed that in the past 7 days, my family has never checked in on each other so many times. I think we spend more times together as a collective, which is kind of unfortunate because I think someone's death shouldn't be the reason why we're doing that. And I understand that everyone has busy lives. Everyone in the family has their own worries and their own anxieties and their own fears and insecurities, and everyone's busy. But it's just something I've realized. I think in times of sadness and in grief, families should come together, and most of the time they do, because as a collective you are a family and you will get through it. And what I've just been doing is spending time with my loved ones. I've been spending time with my girlfriend, with my sister, with my mum. Everyone deals with grief differently as well. I've also ordered a book on dealing with pet loss. You know, I love reading books and I love learning from books, so hopefully that might help. I'll be lying if I'm saying that I'm okay. I'm not okay. There are times during the day where I am really, really sad, and I miss my dog, and I think I just never expected it, which is what makes it worse. He was only 8, and for some reason I just thought, oh, he's gonna live 5 more years or 4 more years or 2 more years. But the sudden death made me realize that Memento Mori. Recently we had an earthquake in Victoria as well, and you know that occurred, and Memento Mori. And we have these like thoughts that a year from now I'm gonna be this, and a year from now I want to do this, and a year from now I want to move out, and a year from now I want to travel, and a year from now I want to work overseas. But the unpredictability of life just makes me wonder, like, man, like what's the point sometimes thinking that way? If anything can just happen. But obviously that's not a healthy thought to embody 24/7, because if I keep thinking like that, I won't ever do anything, and I won't be ambitious, and I won't chase my goals. But I definitely think that, again, coming back to the whole element of humans being aware of the fact that they can die anytime, and we should really embody that. Even when we're planning for the future, we should also be grateful for the present moment. I've been spending time with my grandma a lot recently as well. Not that I wasn't before, but I've realized it, man. I've realized that life is hard. Life is unfair. Death is crap. It sucks. there's nothing good about it, especially if you love someone. Um, yeah, I think I'm trying to see the good and the bad, and I'm also thinking that he didn't suffer, he didn't get hit by a car, he didn't die of an old age. I can't imagine anything worse as to putting a dog down, voluntarily killing your dog. I didn't have to make that decision. I hope it was quick. I hope he didn't suffer. Everything I've said today is probably a cliche, but I guess, it's just how I'm feeling, and these are the thoughts that I've been having in my head. I think missing him will get less harder, but he will always be a part of me. He was the first dog that I had, and I think I'll never forget him. And I really hope he's in a better place. Anyway, that's the update, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.